GTM Podcast The Life and Time of the Great Master พระมงคลเทพมุนี EP03 Becoming a Buddhist Monk. Hello everyone. You are listening to GTM Podcast on the Great Master series. From the previous episode, our Great Master, also known as Luang Pu, has made a vow to become a Buddhist monk for life. We will continue where it was left off. Before we go on, don't forget to subscribe, like and share to continue supporting us and the program. After that incident, the thought of ordaining as a Buddhist monk never left Sot's mind. He knew he could not shrug off the responsibilities to take care of his mother and the family. He needed to leave them enough savings to support themselves in his absence. So he set out to work with fervor in order to accumulate sufficient wealth for them to live on. After 3 years, he finally made enough money to take care of his family's future. In May 1906, Sot loaded sacks of rice onto his barge for the last time. He told the crew to make the trip to Bangkok on his behalf and gave his most trusted man the authority to manage the rice deal. After that, he left the wharf feeling like a free man. Sot entered Wat Song Pinong as a postulant or nak, an applicant trainee for ordination. Venerable Palat, the abbot, taught him the words of ordination and abbreviated versions of the monastic discipline or Vinaya. He received his ordination at Wat Song Pinong in July 1906 along with 7 others. He was then 22 years old. Sot was given the monastic name Khandasaro Bhikkhu, a Pali name which means the one with a bright radiance like the moon. The preceptor who ordained him was Venerable D, the abbot of Wat Patusan, Suphanburi. The senior and junior ordination teachers were Venerable Vinyanuyok and Venerable Neung Intasuvanno, respectively. During his rain retreat at Wat Song Pinong, he was able to memorize the Patimokkha or the monastic code of discipline by heart. He studied the scripture and practiced meditation alongside. At one point in his scripture study, he came across the Pali words avicca, apacchaya, and was curious as to what this word meant. He asked the monk at the temple, and to his surprise, none of them knew the meaning. One monk told him, "Brother, we don't translate the scripture here, we just recite them. If you want to know more, you will have to go to Bangkok to study." He was perplexed by the monk's lack of textual scholarship. After 7 months, he decided to go to the capital to further his scripture studies. He put away a bundle of Mahasatipatthana Sutta, which is the great discourse on establishing mindfulness, in a safe place at Wat Song Pinong, thinking as soon as he has learned enough Pali to be able to translate this bundle fluently that he would return to do so. Khandasaro or Luang Pu left Wat Song Pinong to further his Dhamma study at Wat Prachetuphon. His younger brother Puk accompanied him to study there. One night, in his 4th year as a bhikkhu, Khandasaro had a dream. In his dream, a shadowy man appeared and offered him a bowl of sand. He took the pinch of it. When his brother was offered some, the boy took 2 handfuls. A few days later, both of them fell ill with a smallpox. Khandasaro recovered, but his brother did not. The boy died later at their home in Song Pinong. He was only 18. After his brother's cremation, Khandasaro returned alone to Wat Prachetuphon. Life at Wat Prachetuphon was not easy. Food was scarce. The first day he went for alms round, he came back with empty bowl. The second day was no different. It made him wonder. Even when a man has sacrificed all worldly pleasure to uphold the precepts and to perpetuate Buddhism, should he deserve to starve for his cause? If I starve to death through the mean hardness of these city folks, maybe my death would stir enough of their pity to not let any more monks die of starvation in the future. On the third day, he received a scoopful of rice and a banana. Weak and weary from 2 days on empty stomach, Kandasaro scuttled his way back to his room and sat down on the doorway to eat his meal, just as a mangy dog meandered into view. The poor dog was so skinny that its bones seemed to show through its skin, looking like it was ready to die of hunger right in front of his eyes. With great pity, Kandasaro passed the remainder of his food to the dog. He made his solemn wish. Through the power of this generosity in the face of such adversity, may starvation never again cross my path. Although the dog had probably eaten nothing for days, it took only the rice and left the banana alone. Somewhat dismayed at this, Kandasaro thought of retrieving the banana, but reminded himself that a bhikkhu does not take back anything which he has already given away, unless someone were to reoffer it. From that day forth, however, maybe due to the power of his virtue of generosity, Kandasaro never returned from his alms round with an empty bowl again. In fact, he always had more than enough food to share with his fellow monks. Reflecting on the hardship that he himself and his fellow monks had endured through the lack of food, Kandasaro made a pledge upon himself. One day, when I receive sufficient support from benefactors, I will build a kitchen to feed the monastic community so that the monks can put all their energies into scriptural study and meditation and never again have to worry about where their next meal will come from. It would take a decade before this aspiration of Kandasaro's become a reality. And thus, he had overcome starvation on his path as a Buddhist monk. What would his life be after this point on? We will continue in the next episode, Mastering Scriptural Studies. So stay tuned. We hope to see you again.